Maybe you want to manifest something specific because you're not satisfied with your circumstances. And you begin to see that the intense desire to alter your circumstances, to change them, whether it's through affirmations, flipping your thoughts, visualizing, scripting, or ignoring what is currently happening, stems from a fundamental or a profound misconception. This is the realm of the separate self, or you can also call it the ego self. It's a construct built from a muddled collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that we mistakenly take to be our true identity. So this mistaken identity is the root of lack, all states of lack. It paints our experiences with colors of permanence and inevitability. So yeah, it's time to dismantle these illusions, and I'll show you just how to do it. So stay tuned till the end. By the way, I am AnilaReddy, and for one-on-one sessions, reach me at hello@anilareddy.com, or see my mini course experiences in the link below or in the pinned comments. So in the practice I advocate, or play that I call it, we take a moment to pause and deeply investigate using what I call guided pauses. Now, this isn't about hurried fixes or superficial changes. It's about engaging with what is present right here and right now, and understanding the fleeting nature of our perceived problems. So let's take an example. Do you believe your current situation is set in stone? Ask yourself this. Let's really look at this. Thoughts fluctuate, perceptions shift, labels change, and sensations like taste and touch come and go. What then remains constant in this ever-changing experience? Ask yourself. Just notice. The key revelation here is that the things we often take as solid and unchangeable, our thoughts and circumstances, are in fact transient, meaning they come and go. When you identify yourself with limited states or labels, such as not being good enough or lacking, then obviously we suffer. This pain drives the endless cycle of wanting to improve ourselves, different manifestation techniques aimed at fixing what we fear is broken or missing. But again, there's a fundamental flaw in this approach. If circumstances and thoughts are inherently impermanent, why do we treat them as fixed? The answer lies in our misunderstanding of their true nature. For instance, if someone important hasn't texted you back, it's easy to interpret this as personal rejection. However, when you examine the situation without the labels, example, you're seeing a blank screen of your phone for what it truly is, just an empty screen, the story loses its sting. The same phone blank screen that tells you someone has not reached out is also not receiving messages from countless others. It's not personal. It's just what is. So let's dive deeper into this example, okay? So let's just look at the process of labeling and its impact on our experience. When faced with a situation, let's say the absence of a text message from someone special, our immediate reaction often involves assigning and believing a label or a story to that experience. But let's pause again and investigate the nature of this labeling. Firstly, consider what you genuinely know about a circumstance without the overlay of past, without the overlay of memories or ingrained narratives. Look at the circumstance right now. For instance, when you look at a blank screen of your phone, what is inherently present there? Is it a definitive message about your personal worth or the feelings of another person towards you? Are you being rejected then? No, it is simply a phone screen without text. The interpretation that my specific person did not text me is not an intrinsic feature of the screen. It's a label. It's a story we impose. So this scenario is just like looking at a bottle labeled ketchup. The label ketchup is not the substance inside. It's a pointer to the contents. It's a pointer to the bottle. Similarly, the thought, they have not texted me, is not the reality of the blank screen. It merely points to one of many interpretations of why your phone screen is currently blank. Just as the president or Oprah not texting us doesn't typically trigger an emotional response, the absence of a text from someone else does not inherently mean what we think it does. It's just another non-event until we label it otherwise. So when you strip away the label from the blank screen, what remains? It's just a screen, devoid of any inherent emotional content. It does not carry sadness, rejection, or loneliness. It's simply neutral, just existing as part of our current experience. This neutrality, it kind of opens a gateway to understanding how fleeting, transient, and faceless nature of our circumstances really are. So this conclusion that a person's lack of communication signifies you being their second choice is not only an assumption, but it's a temporary and changeable interpretation. Circumstances are fluid. They're not fixed. Today's ignored text could be tomorrow's long conversation. Nothing is as permanent as our fears might convince us. So by disengaging from the habit of immediately believing and labeling our experiences and diving into their supposed meanings, you give yourself a clearer vision of reality as it is, not as your fears or your desires paint it. This game does not erase the feelings of disappointment or rejection instantly, but it puts them in context. They are responses to a story you tell yourself, not to an unchangeable truth. This understanding shifts how you relate to what happens in your life. Then, of course, your feelings change. It's not about denying or suppressing your feelings, but about seeing them arise from temporary and often inaccurate interpretations of events. So with this insight, you can see that you respond to life not out of knee-jerk reactions to labels, but from a place of deeper understanding and choice. So you begin to see that you are not a passive recipient. You're not passively receiving the actions of others, but you're active in how you interpret and respond to the world around you. So when you recognize this, you can choose to step back from the immediate stories that spring up around events like an unreturned text or whatever the case might be. So instead of spiraling into insecurity, you can acknowledge the feeling, examine its roots, and let it pass without it defining your self-worth or the trajectory of your manifestation journey or the trajectory of your day. So this frees you from unnecessary suffering and aligning you closely with the truth of the moment. It is just what is. It's nothing more. So at the heart of this exploration is the realization that all phenomena are expressions of a deeper reality. They are a form of awareness. Or if you resonate with the term God, then everything is God. Everything from your emotions to the devices you use is God. They all have this fundamental essence of being God or awareness. Everything you interact with, everything you feel and think is not separate from this universal essence of awareness. It is all awareness. It is all God. So, recognizing this, you begin to see that nothing exists independent of your awareness. Nothing exists without your presence, without awareness. Your body, the very chair you sit on, the thought that float through your mind, none of these can come up or manifest without the backdrop of your awareness. This is not limited to objects you can touch. It extends really to everything you experience. Your wealth, the people in your life, the specific person you might be thinking of, your own body, your cell phone, your car, the environment around you, and even all those distant locations like Greece, Sweden, New York. None of these can exist in reality without being filtered through your conscious experience. When I speak of you, I am not referring to your personal identity. I'm not referring to the names you go by like John, Mary, or Anila. These are simply labels. They're convenient, right? They're convenient designations used in the flow of life when we're interacting with others. Instead, I'm pointing to something far more fundamental and always present. Your true self, which is pure awareness, or what some might call God. So this awareness is not just a passive observer. It is the very substance from which all things are made of. All countries, all objects, all people. It is the canvas on which the details of your life are painted. Every object, every person, every location exists because it is perceived by you, through you, and in you as this awareness. So your experiences of these things are not separate from you. They are direct expressions of your being, which is awareness. This realization, it shifts the way you perceive the world. You are not a separate entity navigating a hostile world or a hostile universe. You are the universe experiencing itself. The diversity of forms and phenomena are simply the play of awareness. They come and go, giving rise to experiences, but not defining them. Realizing that all is God, or that everything is awareness, you see that there is nothing to fear, chase, or transform. You are not tasked with creating or manifesting reality. Reality is already manifesting as an expression of your being, of your essence. This perspective, it liberates you from the struggle to change your circumstances, to improve yourself, to fix yourself. Instead, you begin to live from a place of complete participation in the unfolding of life as it is. And yes, you get to experience your desires this way too. This means that your approach to life becomes one of acknowledgement rather than trying to achieve or gain something from the outside. You don't need to strive to attract good things into your life. You simply recognize that everything necessary for your fulfillment is already present. It is already who you are. This is not about being passive. It's about active recognition and engagement with your life from a place of completeness or wholeness. So when you feel like you're caught up in your mind, or you simply want to investigate for fun, come back to this experience again. Come back to it again, to these guided pauses that we used here. Just ask yourself a question like this, without assigning any meaning, without going towards your thoughts or going into your supposed memory or the past. What do you know of this circumstance right now, in this moment? As you continue to engage with this understanding, you find that your experiences align more naturally with your desires, not because you forced them or willed them into being through rigorous mental disciplines, mental diets, affirming or visualizing, but because you've aligned with the truth of your own boundless nature, your true self, God or awareness. From this place, what you desire manifests effortlessly, not as a creation of your will, but as a natural expression of your being. In this moment of recognizing your true nature, you find yourself that you're naturally resting in your true self. This ease, this relaxation is born because you've thoroughly examined and you've dismissed the mistaken belief that your circumstances are fixed or unchangeable. You realize that there is nothing to alter or change in your circumstances. There's no need to manufacture or conjure something from thin air. Your true nature is already complete and lacks nothing. You are already who you desire to be always. By settling into this understanding, you experience the absence of resistance. There is no sense of lack clouding your perception. And naturally, your desires, now they don't manifest as creations of effort or force, but rather reveal themselves effortlessly. They unfold naturally because you are living in alignment with your true self, giving rise to states of non-resistance from where your desires are naturally revealed to you in your physical world. So stay tuned for more.